Hey, Happy New Year and welcome back to NF Tuesday, where I do a deep dive into the legal side of NFT projects and cryptos because nobody really reads those terms and conditions or like the purchase rights that you actually get when you buy an NFT. And those are really important because not only do you have to understand the smart contracts and how the blockchain works, but there's a lot of like legal stuff in there that's really important to understand so you don't get defrauded by some crypto NFT shyster. And what better shyster to talk about than Donald Trump, who a couple weeks ago said he had a big announcement to make. We're slinging NFTs, baby. He announced a 45,000 NFT project. He was selling them for $100 each, so it's about $4.5 million. The project performed pretty well. They sold out quickly. Price went up, went down. We'll do a quick look at some of the news articles and the website that he launched for it. And then I'll get into the terms and conditions a little bit to kind of highlight some of the aspects of what you're actually getting when you buy one of his NFTs. So let's take a quick look at the website. And here it is, Trump kind of trying to be his alpha male superhero guy. We'll get into this a little bit further, but like very kind of cartoony type projects or images and stuff. The project really did pretty well, predictably. I mean, say what you want about Trump, but his supporters are loyal, and sometimes there's money to be made in crypto. So the project did sell out, and the price did surge. So the floor price was about 0.19 ETH, or about $230, which is again a little more than double the original mint price, which is pretty good. So this was on December 16th, and then 4 days later, the Trump NFTs tanking as hype dies. Floor price down 70%. So if we scroll down, we can see that the average sale price fell to about $466, which is pretty good. And then it dropped even further to about $255. Again, that's even a little bit higher than it was like the day after launch. It was 0.19 ETH, that article said, or $230. So about $250. Within a few days, it had dropped down to. Not too uncommon for an NFT project to go up and down. So I think it's a little unfair. I'm not like saying one thing or another about Trump politically, but I don't think it's fair to crap on his project when most NFT projects kind of go up and down within a few days of launch. Here's another one from even a few days after that. Daily sales down 98% from peak, but that's the volume, not the actual price of the NFTs. If we scroll down, we see that now the floor price on the top marketplace, OpenSea, very popular, is just 0.15 ETH. So that's a little bit down from where it was the day after launch. So it's about $180. It was 230, and then up to like 270, and then down to 280. Some of the NFTs sold as low as $131 a piece on the marketplace today. So still, again, above the original sale price. And then here's an updated article from January 1st, how much you would actually have in the NFT project now. If we scroll down, it shows us that the same $1,000 investment today would be worth $2,283 based on current floor price of 0.19 ETH, or about $228. So it stayed pretty consistent after that initial collapse. The investment is still up about 128% since minting went live. One criticism of it was that the Trump's badly photoshopped NFTs appear to use photos from small clothing brands. If you scroll down, this article from Gizmodo, like they're drawing similarities between this weird NFT thing and then this image of the hunting outfit from there's a leather duster imported shops, like, right? So like these are similar images, but I don't think there's any copyright infringement there personally. Unless these images were copyrighted by those websites, then it's going to be pretty hard for them to prove that there was direct infringement there, because it's clear that it's similar, but I don't know. I think that they can make a case that it's sufficiently transformative. I'm going to be talking about this on in the Manchester United NFT issue that's come in the news, about sufficiently transformative from changing one image to a new one and kind of repurposing it for NFTs. So keep an eye out for that video too. But another weird thing is this Gizmodo article. I've been critical about crypto reporting a little bit, because a lot of these articles will start to talk about legal issues, but they won't quote an attorney in the article, especially with regards to privacy policies. Read my stuff on MetaMask. Or watch my videos on MetaMask for that issue. And then here's kind of another one where Gizmodo is kind of speculating about, why is this NFT LLC that they spun up? Why is that located in Utah? Here, like, take a read at this. It says things get even stranger when looking at the company that's running the auction. NFT Inc. LLC lists its address as a kitschy strip mall in Utah that contains a few shops and restaurants, dry cleaners, as well as UPS store. As Gizmodo previously reported, companies affiliated with attempts to buy Trump's favored social media platform, Trump Social, have had similar arrangements by being based out of a UPS store mailbox. Look, this is very normal to have a newly formed company accept mail at like a UPS mailbox store. I do that for my law firm. This is not anything really peculiar. All of the informations and the addresses that are listed publicly on the Secretary of State website are there for that purpose. So I don't know. Like, I expect a little more from Gizmodo and some of these news outlets starting to kind of say that this is shady work, but this is very, very common, and they need to start to quote attorneys in these articles so as not to kind of mislead people about the reporting. So again, here's a website, Trump silly pictures, $99 each. Sold out. Look at us. We sold them out, $99 each, blah, blah, blah. There's like a sweepstakes bonus where you can like win special prizes. I'll talk about those a little bit. These are some of the images and stuff you're buying. Again, sold out. And, they got some criticism for, it being a cash grab. That same Decrypt article I was showing you said that NFTs were widely mocked as being a cash grab and even criticized by some of Trump's own supporters. And again, like, look, say what you want about Trump, but I've been consistent about this, about NFT projects. Don't hate the player, hate the game. If you can sell NFTs for any amount of money, get that cash. The stupidity isn't in making the money. The stupidity is in buying them and expecting a return on that investment. It's the same thing, as I said, as like Instagram models and like cosplay girls like selling stuff on eBay, like their used panties and like jars of like their bathwater. Girl, if you can get that money and you can sell that for that shit, grab that cash. I got no problem with you selling it. I just think you're an idiot if you're buying it personally. So that's my take on that. So I don't really have a problem with Trump selling these NFTs. I have the problem with people who are buying it and expecting a major return on investment. But again, this thing's already up double since it was launched. We'll see kind of where it goes. But again, back to the website. So like, here's how it works. Like, you store your cards, you purchase them, and then you can like receive them and get like sweepstakes code to enter the sweepstakes. A bunch of FAQs here that we're not going to get into because the information I really need is down here in the NFT owner agreement. Let's get into that in a moment, but first, let's figure out the official rules. These are the sweepstakes rules. Anytime you are doing a sweepstakes, anytime you're doing a sweepstakes in the States, there are certain rules that you have to abide by, because what the feds were worried about, I think this is the Federal Trade Commission or FCC goes after this to make sure that people aren't just saying, oh, look, one of a million will get, $1 million and stuff like that. But like, nobody like follows up to check if they actually grant a winner to a lot of sweepstakes and stuff. Like, imagine like McDonald's Monopoly and stuff like that, right? Like, who actually checks to see if they actually delivered the cash prizes or whatever they actually say that they're going to do, right? Like, nobody has time to look at that. Like, if you enter, you're like, oh, I didn't win, damn. But like, nobody actually checks to see if that's a real person or whether it's actually delivered. And there are laws about this. So anytime you're going to have a sweepstakes, you have to abide by laws, and they're usually sweepstakes terms and conditions. I'm not going to dig deep into what the sweepstakes rules are and stuff, but this page I'm about to show you is going to show like some of the things you can win. I'm going to point out a couple things there, and I think are a little shady. It's like, are you actually going to get these prizes? But it's within the rules of the sweepstakes law. So let's take a look at what those are. Again, official Donald Trump NFT collection, sweepstakes official rules. No purchase necessary to enter or win. That's kind of one of the rules. Eligibility, we won't dig into that and stuff. We're going to kind of skip down here. But here are some of the sweepstakes items. So here are the prizes, all right? Sweepstakes, redemption item description. So one ticket to a 2,000 person Trump gala dinner at a location, time, and date to be determined by a sponsor. That's Trump and his NFT company, and it's sole discretion. There's 150 of those. So maybe you'll make up 10% of this 2,000 person gala, but then the ARV per item is only $75. So what I understand this to mean is basically like, look, we're going to set this time and date. If you can't make it, Well, you get 75 bucks back, which is like a decent rebate on the $100 NFT purchase price you got. But I'm guessing that Trump's time and money is probably worth a little bit more than $75, or even like some of these are like the golf one. There's one where you can like win like an hour of golf. First of all, I golf. An hour of golf is like maybe 3 holes. You can win 3 hours or 1 hour of golf with Trump. And like if you can't make it, that ARV price is like $300. So sure, you get like a payback on what you actually get for your NFT, but like these sweepstakes are like, I don't know how many of them they're actually gonna deliver on. So that's just a little kind of like catch there about sweepstakes rules. But let's start looking at the actual NFT owner agreement. All right, so here's the Trump NFT owner agreement. Overall, well written. You'd kind of expect Donald Trump to have his legal affairs in order. It's got a big target on his back. Certainly is no stranger to litigation. So, you got your big arbitration clause down here, class action waiver, pretty standard stuff. We're going to kind of work our way up and kind of skip around here a little bit. This is a big disclaimer about, these are intended of collectible items for individual enjoyment only. They're not meant as investment vehicles. So you're saying that, we're not going to promise that they're going to increase in value, blah, 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 or maintain the same value as this amount owner paid to purchase them, etc. So this is kind of standard securities kind of disclaimers. But again, like this is NFT in a nutshell here, right? Owner understands and agrees that the NFTs have no inherent monetary value, right? And they should be treated as nothing more than a collectibles with potential future value or lack thereof, right? So basically, don't expect anything. The prices of NFTs are extremely volatile. Price fluctuations in ETH could impact the price of NFTs both positively and negatively, blah, blah, blah. So they're not investments. Don't expect them as such. Pretty standard limitation of liability here. They put a dollar cap on it. That will be, so basically the liability will not exceed the greater of the amount paid to licensor for the initial sale of the subject NFTs or $100, right? So basically a refund. That's very standard limitation of liability. Skipping back up, let's kind of figure out what you actually own. Again, like disclaimers, typical assumptions of risk here, right? Assumption of risk. The NFTs and associated digital objects are provided on an as-is and as-available basis without any warranty or support of any kind. So if your NFTs don't work, or there's something wrong with OpenSea, or you lose them, or you lose your wallets, or your keys or whatever, then we're not going to be able to help you. So they all disclaim their liability. This is very normal. Licensor makes no warranty that an NFT or the associated digital object will meet owner's requirements or be available on an uninterrupted, secure, or error-free basis. Licensor provides no warranty regarding and has no responsibility for any claim arising out of modifying the NFT, misusing the NFT, the fluctuation of value of the NFT, and or any technology that fails to perform or ceases to exist. So if there's a problem with the Polygon blockchain or the smart contracts, not my circus, not my monkeys, right? This is pretty smart stuff to put in an NFT terms and conditions. But again, most people, when they're buying these NFTs, they don't understand that. They don't understand that there's no warranty support, there's no customer service, there's nothing you can do to actually reach the creator of the NFTs and hold them accountable. You have to go through OpenSea or something else, or through Polygon. And I bet you what, guess what? They just claim their liability too. So you really have no recourse after these investments. And that's why the SEC and securities regulators are so interested in this, because if you're buying a security in the United States for any type of private company or public company, there are rules about how you can get recourse and get your money back in those circumstances. With NFTs, there is none. And nobody actually reads this fine print, except for me, maybe a couple other people out there, to understand and educate people that you're really not getting anything here. So if you think you're going to get a return on investment or any help from anybody after you give them their money, think again. Let's get back to the ownership terms. Okay, so we're skipping up to transfers. And there's something interesting about these Trump NFTs that I haven't seen before, but it makes sense given his political history. Again, subject to the transfer restrictions herein and payment licensor for the royalty. So basically, you have to abide by the agreement and you have to pay the royalty because Trump gets like a 10% royalty on everything. You can transfer the NFT, the owner license and entitlements, which we'll get to in a minute, to a third party, provided that you haven't breached this agreement. The license is not expired or terminated for any reason. You notify the acquirer, whoever's purchasing the NFT, that any sale of the NFT shall be subject to the resale royalty. So once they buy it, they're going to have to pay a royalty on the resale too. And the transfer is conducted through a marketplace. So any type of crypto NFT marketplace. And here's an interesting one, that whoever's purchasing the asset, whoever's purchasing the NFT, that secondary acquirer, the buyer, is not placed on the specially designated nationals and blocked persons list by the United States Office of Foreign Assets Control of the Department of Treasury, the denied persons list of the Bureau of Industry and Security of the U.S. Department of Commerce, or as a resident, citizen, or entity located or incorporated under the laws of any other company, territory, or other jurisdiction subject to a U.S. government embargo. So this I've never seen in an NFT project before, because I don't think many people are really worried about that. They don't have any type of political ties, or it can't really come back to haunt them, right? So a Bored Apes is selling monkeys to some foreign national. That's not really going to ruin their political future. But the reason this is here is because basically the U.S. government has like a list of names. You can literally look up OFAC, the OFAC denied or like blocked persons list, and you can search names. I had to do this for a client recently just to make sure that somebody they were hiring, a foreign contractor, wasn't like on one of those lists. And they weren't. And the purpose of this is to make sure that whoever's buying these NFTs, like imagine if somebody bought one of these NFTs for like $5 million, and it turns out that they're in like Saudi Arabia or the Congo or Venezuela, right? Or China or Russia, right? A company that the U.S. has, a rough or let's say political friction with. It would look pretty bad if one of those people were basically giving $5 million to Trump, paying over market value for NFTs, and they were on one of those lists. So smart for them to do that. But again, like this project is basically saying, like, look, it's not our responsibility to do that. Look, we had this in the terms and conditions that you can't sell us to somebody who's regulated by OFAC. So, they're kind of like saying, this isn't really my problem, but they're also showing that, look, we thought about it and we can't really control where that stuff goes. So I think that if that did happen, it could still look pretty bad on Trump, but they at least put it in the agreement, and that's pretty smart attorney drafting to put that in there. And then so for the actual license that you're getting, it's actually kind of a nothing burger, pretty similar to Bored Apes. Upon transfer of NFT, you grant a limited license to use, display, publish the art during the term, subject to compliance with the terms, solely for the following purposes: for your personal non-commercial use, to list the NFT for sale as part of an NFT marketplace, provided that they verify the cryptography and that it's actually a legitimate NFT, and as part of a third-party website that permits NFTs to be included. Okay, so this is literally like pretty much straight from the Bored Apes NFT project. Not a whole lot there. And then the other thing to mention here is that the resale royalty, right? Again, I'm just control effing royalty here to get to important stuff. As used herein, the resale royalty means the royalty amount that you actually receive. It's basically 10%, equal to 10% of the purchase price taken from the owner of any secondary acquirers who becomes an owner for sale proceeds. So this is interesting because it's 10% of the purchase price. It's not 10% of the profits. So that's I think that's a little different than some projects, which are only 10% of like the gain that you receive from it. And then the entitlements. This is basically what you get. The acquisition of an NFT may entitle the current owner to certain additional entitlements as may be offered by the licensor. This is a sweepstakes stuff, and it's sole discretion. So that's pretty much how it works. One thing I did check here is like getting a limited non-sublicental license to use, publish, and display the digital art. It's not perfect, but it's better than just the right to access. I'm searching right access right now, and there's nothing saying that you only get the right to access. Watch my video on the Washington Capitals NFT collectibles, which I criticized because it said that you get the right to access the art, but you don't even own the art. And they have no requirement to actually maintain the URL that the NFT was linked to. But Trump's NFTs are a little bit better than that. Again, I just don't really think that there's a lot of inherent value here. The terms and conditions say there's no inherent value. We know that these NFT projects don't really hold water, and everything in their terms and conditions say we don't really give a shit about you or what happens to you or what happens with the NFT after we get your money. So that's a Trump NFTs in a nutshell for you. I'm interested to see what happens if there's any suits for copyright infringement and stuff based on like the actual images and where they got them from. That could kind of implicate some of the things here, but I'm sure he's got good insurance to cover that litigation. So overall, that's the deep dive into Trump NFTs. I'd stay away from them. I don't think they're going to hold water. I don't think there's a lot of, you're not actually really getting anything valuable on a legal sense as the terms and conditions state. So be smart, people. Keep your head up and keep an eye here on more NFT stuff in the future. Have a great week. Happy New Year. Happy NF Tuesday.